This is 7th grade, Module 4, Lesson 14 on computing actual lengths from a scale drawing. So we have these little makeshift boats here, and it says the distance around the entire small boat is 28.4 units, and the larger figure is a scale drawing of the smaller drawing of the boat. State the scale factor as a percent, and then use the scale factor to find the distance around the scale drawing. All right, so kind of like we've been doing in the past lessons, we're just going to kind of count the units. So I'm going to first count the horizontal. We don't have to worry about all these curvatures. We're just going to count the straight horizontal. Let's count it of the smaller one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is 8 units going in that direction. And then our vertical here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units for the vertical. All right, let's go ahead and count our larger scale here. It's kind of slightly off, but I'm going to go ahead and count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm going to say 16 and a half. This one was slightly off, so I'm going to go ahead and say 16.5. And then for the horizontal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm a little bit off. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I did skip one over here because there's supposed to be 22. There should be 22. Sorry, it's a little hard to see and use a tablet at the same time here. All right, so now we need to find what our percent would be. So for the smaller boat, we found our horizontal distance of 8 units. And I'm just using pictures here to not have to write it. Our vertical units was 6 units. And then we have our larger image here. And its horizontal was 22 units. And the vertical was 16.5 units. So we're going to use these numbers. We're going to set up an equation here to sign that percent. So the equation is going to be the length of the larger image equals the percent times the length of the smaller image. All right, so I'm going to use the numbers 22 for my larger equals the percent times the smaller. So I picked the horizontal lengths on this one. And I'll show you, it doesn't really matter who you pick. All right. So this says 8 times what gives me 22? Since you don't know probably, because it's not going to be a perfect, nice, lovely answer, we're going to divide that out. And you're going to grab your calculator. And we're going to say 22 divided by 8. And I get 2.75. So 2.75, but I need this to be a percent, so I move my decimal 2 places to the right, and I get 275%. So this is an increased image of 275%. Now again, I told you I was going to show you that it doesn't really matter. You can pick the other numbers. You could compare the verticals. So same thing. The larger will be 16.5 times, equals the percent times the smaller, which is 6. And when you divide that out, you will also get 2.75, which will equal 275%. So you're just going to compare one of the sets of numbers and solve for the percent. And that's it. Okay, let's go ahead and go on to the next problem. I'm going to move this up a little bit here. So we have exercise 1. The length of the longer path is 32.4 units. The shorter path of the drawing. Okay, so this is the original, and then this is the reduction. Find the length of the path and how you arrived at the answer. All right, now I have two measurements I can actually do. I can do a vertical measurement comparison, or I can do a horizontal. I'm just going to go ahead and do horizontal. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6 units here. And this one here is 2 units. So again, I'm going to set this up. I want to know what is the percentage from the smaller to the larger here, or how much smaller is that than the larger, I should say. So we're going to say 2 equals percent times 6. All right, so I'm going to divide both sides by 6. And 2/6 can be reduced down to 1/3. So this is actually my scale factor. I went from this image to this image, and I cut it by 1/3. But that's not my percent. My percent is when I divide those numbers. So I take my calculator, and I'm going to say 2 divided by 6 gives me 333 repeating. All right. So we're going to say that this is 0.333 repeating. Move your decimal 2 places to the right, and I get 33 1/3%. So that's my percent, and this is my scale factor. Now I wanted to know that find the length of the shorter path and explain how you came to this answer. So the longer path was 32.4. I need to find the length of the shorter path. So we're going to take 32.4 and times it by our scale factor of 1/3. Now, when I do that, I can see if 3 can divide into 3.24. So let's try that. Let me use my calculator here. 32.4 divided by 3. Oh, it does. It goes in 10.8 times. So this cancels into this, and it'll equal 10.8. So it's 10.8 units long. This is for the smaller. So it went from 32 to 10, and that's a 1/3 change. All right, let's go on to the back. All right, so we have a garden here, and we have lots of divisions, lots of little spots for each of these vegetables to go. So it says, Sherry designed her garden as shown above. The distance between the 2 consecutive vertical grid lines is 1 foot. So basically means every single box up here in the graph paper is equal to 1 foot. The distance between any 2 consecutive horizontal grids is also 1 foot. Again, each box is 1 foot of the grid paper. Therefore, each grid square is an area of 1 foot. There, I'm glad they cleared that up for us. There we go. After designing the garden, Sherry decided to build the garden at 75% of the size represented in this diagram. So when she built the actual garden in her backyard, she didn't increase it 100%. She only brought it up from what she drew 75% more. Okay? So what are the dimensions of the outside of the blueprint? So we're just going to count the outside units here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So that's 26 units. So I'm going to say my length is 26 units. And since each unit represents a foot, this is 26 feet for the diagram. Now let's find the width. All right, the width is going down here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So this is 12 units, which equals 12 feet. So those are the dimensions of the outside. What is the overall? Well, remember she made the actual garden in her backyard, and the actual is 75% of the blueprint. Okay, so let's not keep, let's not forget about this information because this comes back into play. So I'm going to take 75%, which we know is 0.075, and I'm going to multiply it by both those numbers. So she went to build this and wanted to know how many feet do I really need to build this up. So I'm going to say 26 times 0.075. She's going to need 19.5 feet in her length, and 12 times 0.075, she's going to need 9 feet for her width. So this is the size of her actual garden. All right, let's move this down to C. Now C says if she plans on building a wire fence into all the divided sections of the garden, how much fence does she need? So I'm actually going to move it back up to the diagram. We need to break this up. We need to find all of this. So we know that this whole length is 26. And this one here is 26. Oh, and I see this is the exact same length and it's parallel. So this one's also 26 and so is this one. So how many 26s do we have? We have 4. All right, I have another color here. My sides going down, we found that to be 12, and I have 2 of those. Only 2 of those because those other ones aren't the full length. All right, now we get to find what those ones are. I'm going to get some more colors here. All right, so going down this way, and I kind of drew right into my picture, didn't I? All right, well, that's a half. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, but I'm actually going to break it right between here because I'm going to make that a point too. So this is 4.5, 4.5. And then since these are the same lengths, I'm going to say 4.5, 4.5. Okay, and then I have a number going, oh, let's see, another color. Going right across here, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is a 14. And there's one more that I need. Let's see, I have the 26, I have 12s, I have 14. Oh, we got them all. We counted them all. Okay, perfect. So now let's go back to our problem. All right, I'm going to kind of keep this on this. You don't have to draw it again. I'm just keeping this so I don't have to go up and down, up and down. Let's add all this up. Let's find the area, okay? Actually, the perimeter of all these, I should say, because we're finding for fencing. So how many 26s do I have? I have 4 of those. So 26 times 4. Plus, okay, I got 2 12s, so I'm going to say 12 times 2. Plus, I have 4.5, so I have 4.5, and I have 4 of those. Plus 114. All right. So when we add that all up on our calculator, we get 160 feet. All right, now that is for the diagram. Remember, hers is 75% of that. So I'm going to take 160 times 0.075, and she will need 120 feet of fencing. All right, now if the fencing costs $3.25 a foot, plus a 7% sales tax, how much will it cost her? So $3.25 times the 120 she's going to need. You multiply that out, you get 390. Now I have to add in that sales tax. So remember, she has to pay 100% of the fencing plus 7%. So that's 100% plus 7%, which gives me 107%. As a decimal, that's 1.07. So I'm going to take $390, times that by the sales tax, and this comes to a grand total of $417.30. All right, let's go ahead and go on to the next problem. All right, so for this one, I'm going to set it up for you, and then you are going to do example 3, exercise 2, and exercise 3 will be ones that I grade. I want you to give yourself a try on these, but I'll set this one up for you, and then you got to kind of keep it going. All right, if you notice here, we have some numbers. We have 12, 39, 4, and this is X when they put a bunch of question marks. So we're going to set this scale drawing here up, and we're going to find out what this height is. So we're going to do a ratio setup, or we can do our larger to smaller formula that we were using earlier. So I see that I have a 39 and a 12, so I'm going to set that into the problem. So I'm going to say 39 equals the percent times 12. All right, so 12 times what gives me 39? So I'm going to divide this 12 out. And on my calculator, I get 3.25. As a percent, remember you move it 2 places to the right, I get 325%. So if this is 325% larger than the first drawing, then I can take the height of the first drawing and times it by 3.25. So I'm going to say 4 times 3.25, and you finish it for me. All right, go ahead and use something very similar there with exercise 2 and then exercise 3 as well. That finishes this tutorial.